'Tis the season, the most wonderful time of the year. Celebration with friends and family. It's time to pay tribute to this jolly month. So join us as we get into the Christmas spirit. You've heard of Elf on the Shelf, but this is Venom on the Shelf.
When you think of Santa Claus, don't you just think Hulk Hogan? Yeah, if you thought Hulk Hogan couldn't wrestle, he couldn't act either. But strangely, there was actually a time where he just kept starring in awful movie after awful movie. Which brings us to today's disaster piece. It's Hulk Hogan as Santa Claus. Who thought this was a good idea? This came about not long after Hogan had jumped ship from the WWE to WCW, a wrestling company he ultimately caused the death of, so hey, it's only fitting that he takes good cinema down with him in the process. This film has the biggest star in wrestling history, and yet it gained a mere $220,000 at the box office. That's the kind of failure we're looking at, people.
Are you sure?
Hogan was slammed for his bad acting, the direction slated for just doing it for the money. Others even said it makes Jingle All the Way look like a masterpiece. Ouch.
It pays to be nice.
It holds a 2.4 rating on IMDb, 22% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's consistently on IMDb's worst movies list, and is often included on people's choices for worst Christmas films ever. It was only in cinemas for 2 weeks. Yes, it actually got a theatrical release.
Of course.
And the original screenwriter's first draft was changed so much in the final film that he sued to have his name removed from the project. Because I'm sure his version was so much better. This is Santa with Muscles. So we open at an orphanage where a young girl writes a letter to Santa about a mean man called Mr. Frost who wants to shut them down and they need his help. Yes, someone wants Hulk Hogan to stop bullies. Because if his career has told us anything, it's that Hulk Hogan hates bullies.
That's a good one, sir.
Anyway, we cut to the man himself trying to find a reason why TNA is still in business before doing what he does best.
Never stop to smell the roses.
Really? That was your attempt at an epic badass one-liner? Even worse, it was his first line of dialogue. That's what you're going with? Okay.
I think so.
So Hulk Hogan switches with his obvious stuntman as he fights a bunch of people because it's Hulk Hogan, so of course he fights a bunch of people. He just needs a stuntman to do it for him here.
Free omelet.
Free joke. Very crap. Oh look, it's 6-on-1, but hey, he always overcomes the odds. This should be a piece of piss. But no, it's just a training exercise. Original.
The rules are important, guys. What would we have without Blake's rules anyway?
You'd probably be fired for failing the wellness policy for steroids. Oh.
That's the most sense I heard anybody make all night.
So basically, and try to wrap your mind around this, Hulk Hogan plays a rich, famous guy who's a complete asshole and has a massive ego. I wonder how they got the right casting.
Let's roll!
Let's act! Nah, let's not. So Hogan and his staff go out to play paintball because that's what rich people do, I guess. And it honestly looks like they're having a lot more fun than the audience.
Hey, why don't you just pull over?
Rule number 20. Never surrender. Besides, this is fun. Give me your paint gun.
You know, I never thought I could hate him any more than I do in wrestling. But here we are. Anyway, we see a cop played by that guy from The Waterboy and House of the Dead. His resume is amazing.
We'll lose him in Lakeville. There's a million places to hide. I grew up there.
Shut the hell up, Hulk! You're not funny! Go away!
Idiot.
So the police are on their tail, but Hogan leaps out of his moving vehicle and of course doesn't sell it. It is Hulk Hogan after all. Meanwhile, at the local mall, the Santa is missing. While we revisit Hogan running from the law, while we see Mr. Frost tying someone up and trying to get them to sell their shoe store. Oh, such an evil plan! And his minions even show up to intimidate him, including a very seductive woman with an electric flower. I'm confused. Am I scared or aroused?
In your dreams.
So Hogan sneaks around backstage and dresses up like Santa because Why wouldn't he? However, he blows his cover when he's a dick to kids. Again, perfect casting. And manages to hide from the cops. How the hell do they not see him? He's right there! Oh, who cares? It looks just like Vince McMahon in 1993 when Hogan left, taking out the trash.
There are children present.
So Hulk takes a nasty fall down the chute where an elf named Lenny finds him. He steals his wallet and realizes who he is. Blake Thorne, the richest man in 10 states. For the record, we never know why he's famous, why he's rich. They say he has products, it's never explained what they are. He's just a rich guy who goes around paintballing. But lo and behold, you can't keep the Hulkster down for very long as he gets straight back up but has completely lost his memory and he doesn't know who he is.
You're Santa Claus. Santa.
No.
Yes.
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 Shut up! So the elf tries to convince Hulk that he's the real Santa Claus before carrying him away, despite not being able to drag him earlier, but you know, who cares anymore. Of course Hulk replaces Santa. We never actually find out what happened to the real one. That's the real dilemma here.
Oh, golf ball.
No.
Pocket knife.
No.
Electric razor.
A funny joke?
No.
While Hogan talks to the kids, Lenny tries to use his bank card. Why would he think he can use his bank card? He knows how ATMs work, right? Well, apparently not like this one, because this one requires a fingerprint ID. What ATM in the 90s did this?
He's right.
Anyway, back at the mall, some bad guys try stealing some charity money in broad daylight in front of everybody because, you know, we need some conflict. It doesn't have to make any sense. Go away. Before Hogan kicks some ass, and I guess I'll credit the film, it is kind of funny to see Santa Claus beating the crap out of people, even if it is just a blatantly obvious stunt double. Hulk spots a nearby charity to save the children and seems drawn to it for some reason, and look, even she's asleep during this film. She can't stay awake. What should I? Back at the bad guy's lair, the next target is the orphanage, because of course it is. The minions visit Mila Kunis? The kid from Boy Meets World? Some random woman and the girl from the start of the film? Cool. Anyway, they destroy the statue outside and attempt to run over this black dude, but Hulk Hogan literally pulls the van back with his bare hands to save his life. I don't know what's more unrealistic. Hulk Hogan stopping a vehicle with his bare hands, or Hulk Hogan saving a black guy.
Merry Christmas, Santa!
Now I'll just stand there and let you get away with vandalism and attempted murder, brother.
I'm really not sure why.
So Hulk settles in at this orphanage, claiming he felt drawn to the place like they needed his help, while the gang fill him in on the situation.
He's been clearing out the whole neighborhood, and no one knows why. Now he wants the orphanage.
And he'll get it too. Shut up. He will not.
Sounds like a very naughty boy.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't just hear that from Hulk Hogan. And if you're wondering why there's only 3 kids in this entire orphanage, it's because they couldn't afford more actors. But no, they claim they're the only ones left who can't seem to get adopted. No idea why there's only 2 staff members running the whole joint, but oh well, they decided to let Hogan and Lenny stay there for a while. Why is Lenny even hanging around? I mean, we find out later he's got another motive, but why does Hogan never question it? Just, mate, what, are you still here?
Good morning, Santa. I saved you a seat over...
Santa, you forgot your,
Okay, that was funny. But how the hell do they not recognize him? He's one of the most famous people in town. I mean, she even says...
I can't help thinking I know you from somewhere. I mean, other than the mall.
Are you telling me she just can't put her finger on it? He's the richest guy in 10 states!
Okay, it's like this. There are things you always do and things you never do. But it's just that some people only follow those rules around Christmas time. You always help someone less fortunate than you. You never turn your back on someone in need.
And you can never make a terrible Christmas movie with a terrible actor and wrestler. So, somehow in one night, Mila Kunis manages to make him a new outfit. But look at him, he looks like a gay ice skater. Anyway, after the incident at the mall, he gets interviewed on TV, who somehow knew where he was. And I'm sorry, but he looks like the extra member of the Village People.
Welcome to Lakeville, Santa. So, tell us, how did you get here?
Rooster.
No, just stop.
Sleigh?
It's not funny, can you...
Reindeer. The reindeer brought me here.
Move on! Oh, and get ready for the worst Hulk Hogan promo you will ever hear.
There's a new Santa in town, and I know if you've been naughty or nice. So be nice.
The most successful professional wrestler in history, ladies and gentlemen.
What a bonehead.
Meanwhile, Lenny uses a glass that Hogan touched to use his fingerprint at the ATM. How would that even work? But it turns out it was the wrong finger, ha. He gets kidnapped by the minions anyway.
I want that Santa with muscles out of there.
Hey, it sounds like every cinema in 1996.
I'm not leaving.
What?
They still need me here.
The movie's not over yet. I need to kill more time here, brother.
Itchy?
No, we watched that crap already. So we get this scene where Hulk and the blonde girl bond, and I guess it is kind of sweet and charming. Yeah, piss off.
We're not gonna stop, Lenny.
I'm proud of you, son. You finally made something of yourself after all.
What? What does that even mean? Like, we find out later he actually knows who he is. So then he'd know he's a millionaire. So yeah. Of course he's made something of himself, before he was Santa. What are you talking about? Anyway, the minions show up, and despite being able to stop a van on his own, he's suddenly slowed down by a nerdy scientist, which is followed by some of the cringiest dialogue you will ever hear.
Patient suffers from bad tummy aches and splitting headaches.
I got nothing. I think that just speaks for itself. Anyway, he beats them up and they escape. Again.
Hey, you guys, where's Taylor?
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's see. He was here in the last shot and then vanished within 2 seconds, so even the editor hasn't got a single clue.
Idiots.
Anyway, Hogan and Lenny somehow know where he's gone and find him outside the bad guy's lair. How did any of them know where that was?
What are you trying to do, smother me?
Wrong wrestler. I'm not Chris Benoit.
Merry Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
Anyway, the kid wants to slingshot the bad guys, but Hulk puts an end to that and explains that 2 wrongs do not make a right.
I did what I had to in self-defense, Taylor. I'm only tough when I have to be.
Like when I rip off the Lion King, brother.
I'm only brave when I have to be.
So Lenny takes the kid away while Hogan listens in and realizes there's a vault underneath the orphanage. Anyway, the kids have somehow figured out 3 of the numbers of the combination and Hogan somehow figures out the rest of it. You want to know how? So they find loads of crystals and gems inside, and Mila Kunis just so happens to have studied them at school and knows exactly what they are. Yeah, apparently they hold electricity, and they even see one explode. Something this movie's box office will never do. But oh no, Hogan begins to question if he is the real Santa or not. This is so dumb, it sounds like it would be funny. It's not.
Thank you.
So Lenny breaks the truth to him. Kind of. I mean, he shows him the clothes he wore when he found him, and he explains that the kids need him to be Santa. You know, I can't help but notice, Hulk Hogan dressed as Santa Claus chasing an early scientist to an orphanage isn't nearly as awesome as you'd think. Why is he even afraid of this? Dude, you're Hulk Hogan! You stopped a van with your bare hands, and yet somehow he's nearly shoved off the tower?
Santa, you slay me.
Hey, a clever line! Hey, a funny moment!
That's as far as we've gotten.
So Hogan lands in a garbage truck filled with all of his booking decisions before waking up at home believing it was all a dream, now remembering who he really is.
Waste disposal engineer, in fact. He caught sight of you in his dumpster, and recognizing you from your products, he fetched you back here.
A garbage man recognized him, but nobody else did. Are you kidding me? Anyway, he tries to call the orphanage, but the bad guys have somehow rigged it to manipulate his girlfriend's voice to tell him to get lost. I don't care.
Well, it's about time.
So we cut back to... Wait, what? So what the hell did the bad guys do the entire time Hogan was knocked out? Did they just leave them alone? I mean, they've got no protection, dude. Ah, there they are. And now they're X-Men, apparently.
Wait till Santa hears about this.
Just stop trying with the one-liners, kid. Seriously, it's embarrassing.
Well, thank you.
So Mr. Frost himself shows up and forces the kids to mine for the gold. Also, they learn the truth about Lenny helping the bad guys because that's not been done before. And now, Hogan is nice all of a sudden. Yeah, amnesia suddenly changes your entire personality. Okay. So Lenny somehow calls him up and tells him what's going on. The scientist geek gets on the line and threatens the kids if he does anything, causing him to hulk up. This leads to Lenny being thrown in the trash but not killed for some reason before Hogan rallies up his staff and, for some reason, takes his Santa hat too.
We have company, sir.
Just one? No problem.
Why the hell does his acting seem to get infinitely worse every time he starts driving? I mean, don't get me wrong, he sucks in the whole film. But for some reason, whenever he gets behind the wheel of a car, he gets even worse.
Spare me the lecture.
So they pour powder and liquor over the road to give the police the slip. He gets cornered by them to the point they pull out a goddamn grenade launcher. Of course, Hogan no-sells it and they blow up their own car.
Which one of you turkeys is responsible for this?
My mum died of cancer. Firstly, I wasn't talking about mums. And secondly, I wasn't talking about cancer. No, but it was funnier than this.
Anyway, they reach the orphanage where they rig the door handle to electrocute a man and then easily open it. How can it be electrocuted if they can touch it? And why the need to electrocute it in the first place? I mean, it was unlocked. Surely doing this only caused more noise and commotion. Oh well, Hulk sneaks around before this little brat gives away his whereabouts, but he still manages to make the save before they take out more bad guys.
Wouldn't want to be ya!
This film has like the worst compilation of one-liners I have ever heard.
Very, very nice.
So they sneak upstairs, somehow expecting no one to have heard any of the commotion before he takes on another bodybuilder, who he gets rid of in 2 seconds flat before fighting the ex-woman herself.
I'm afraid I'm terribly, terribly naughty.
No problemo. I haven't had a good workout in a week.
Are they about to fight or pork?
You wouldn't hit a woman, would you?
He wouldn't. But I would.
Well, you didn't. You just poured water on her. These fights are terrible and so anticlimactic.
Forget it.
So Lenny and Hulk reconcile. He returns his wallet and claims it's all there except for a few dollars. Wait, why didn't he spend any of it? I mean, even at the start, like, this goes against his entire character completely. Anyway, Lenny and Hulk's bird venture off to find the others, and Hogan sticks behind to chat to the black guy to discover that he just so happened to go to this orphanage. What are the odds? Meanwhile, the scientist finally emerges, but somehow didn't hear any of the fighting going on, before Hulk's girl comes out the exact same door he came from. So, how did they not see each other like 20 seconds ago? Oh well, they all lock him in the freezer to brutally murder the poor guy, despite being taught that 2 wrongs don't make a right earlier, before Hogan heads down to the vault to meet Mr. Frost, who just so happens to have been a childhood friend with him back in the day. Just a coincidence, I'm sure.
I don't think so.
So Hulk Hogan, dressed as Santa Claus, is sword fighting a bad guy in a vault full of gems and diamonds. No, that's really what it says. Before his bird rips off the guy's hazmat suit that he was wearing because... you know, what is it with these bad guys wearing ridiculous outfits for no goddamn reason?
Reverberations are causing an energy buildup. English, please. It's gonna blow!
Why? There is no reason that they're gonna blow up. Actually, I guess there is. They couldn't afford to do any more fight choreography. They couldn't have Hulk Hogan kill someone. So yeah, drama equals blow stuff up. Even though all the rest of the bad guys are still inside the building. Wait, what? Why are they outside now? It's not even like they're being arrested. They're just teleported randomly.
Wow.
Anyways, the cops show up, somehow knowing exactly where Hogan was, but realise the mistake and arrest the real bad guys, even somehow saving the scientist from the freezer that blew up just a few minutes ago.
I guess he'll have a chance to defrost himself.
That's not even a pun! It doesn't even make any sense! What is going on? Oh well, they all move in with Hulk and live happily ever after. But I don't! Now, is this movie so bad it's good? No. It's just bad. Really bad! The acting is awful, the writing is even worse, the one-liners and the attempts at being cool are so cringeworthy, the fight scenes are horrendous, the motivations make no sense, and it seems that sometimes they are trying to be as cheesy as possible for a so dumb it's funny vibe, but it doesn't really work. It could have. I mean, Hulk Hogan as Santa Claus is an idea so absurd it could have worked, but I just think it was dealt with incredibly poor. What you gonna do, brother, when Hulk Hogan destroys cinema on you? That's all I got.